Hey y'all, it's Miss Neo, and welcome back to What's New with Miss Neo. So today's spill, I want to talk about how SM has kind of formed with NCT since the very beginning. Um, I've always kind of noticed this, but like I never really thought about it deeply until recently. Cause I'm just like, okay, there's a lot of things in NCT that's not adding up to me, and I haven't stayed in NCT since the beginning, so maybe that's why things kind of just don't add up. But I have been here long enough to, you know, grasp and take note of what's really going on. Before I get into it, this is all just my opinion. This is no hate to any of the members. I love the boys. This is strictly just about SM and what they got going on. So, boom, NCT was introduced as this multiple unit, unlimited member group, right? This was supposed to be the whole concept from the start. But when you actually look at how everything played out, it don't line up at all. Because if that was really the plan, why weren't the members placed into units in a way that made sense from the beginning? And I'm saying like evenly distributed, right? It feels like they were just picking and choosing. And some members were left sitting there with no clear direction. Like, let's go back to 2016. NCT 127 debuts with 7 members. Then, not long after, Doyoung and Johnny get added. And now it's 9. And it's like, okay, but where was the plan? Like, where was that plan before debut? And at the same time, where were Kun and Ten? Because why were they basically just there with no unit, no structure, just sitting there? And don't come in the comments talking about some NCT 127 is supposed to be the Korean unit. Because last time I checked, there was a whole Chinese member and a whole Japanese member in the lineup. So where's the logic? And honestly, people that say that thinking connects to some of that weird energy that some of y'all got towards Wavy. But I'm going to get into that in another video. And I'm not saying that 10 and Kun should have been in 127. Don't start. But it really makes you think, why weren't they placed somewhere earlier? You know, like, obviously they couldn't have been placed in Dream because that was supposed to be the younger member unit. So if they weren't going to go in Dream, where else was it for them to go? You know? Like, I'm not saying that they would have been better there. They were perfectly fine in Wavy, but for that time era, you know, it's not adding up. Like, they were unitless for 2 years before Wavy even happened. 2. And what makes it even more confusing is when you look at 2018, right? Because that's when SM introduced Jungwoo, Lucas, and Kun together. And labeled them as SM rookies. And I'm like, wait. How is Kun being introduced like that when he technically already debuted in 2016? That part never made sense to me. And then right after that, Jungwoo, who was brand new, gets added straight into 127. So now I'm really confused. Because how did he get placed into a unit before Kun did? Like, what was the process behind that? And again, this is no hate to nobody. I'm just noticing things. And even looking at Win-Win's situation. Eventually, he stopped promoting with NCT 127 because SM was preparing for Wavy. But Wavy didn't debut until 2019. So I just want y'all to think about the timeline there. You know, like, yeah. Then later on, you see the same kind of situation happen again. New members get introduced, everybody's excited, and then nothing. No unit, no clear plan, just waiting again. And after all that time, they end up leaving and going somewhere else. At that point, it just feels like a cycle. And yes, I'm talking about Sungchae and Shotaro. Like, their whole time in NCT, there was no clear motive there. That's when you look at how everything is being promoted. It starts to feel even more disconnected because the fixed units are constantly active, multiple comebacks, full schedules. But the whole NCT as one group idea is barely getting used. And I feel like that's part of why the fandom feels so divided now. Like, why are Dreamsons and 127s arguing like they're not under the same group at the end of the day? It just doesn't make sense. Because imagine if instead of separating everything like that, we got consistent NCTU releases throughout the year, different members, different combinations, different sounds, and then everything builds up into one big group project. That would have made the unlimited members concept feel like how it was supposed to feel. Right now, it's like we're called one group, but everything feels split anyway. And it's crazy because the concept itself isn't the problem. NCT's idea is actually one of the most unique things in K-pop. It just feels like SM didn't fully think through how to execute it long term and then slowly back away from it. Because now it's gone. They're not an unlimited member group. Then you have situations where members get added, taken out, and moved around, and it just feels unplanned. Like, why introduce people into NCT just to move them into a completely different group later? Especially when that group could have easily fit into the NCT system. And then you turn around and still debut another unit after that. It just starts to feel like time wasted. At the end of the day, I'm not mad at NCT at all. I just really question SM's decision making. Because the potential was honestly insane, and I don't think it was fully used. But yeah, those are just my thoughts. If y'all have anything to add, or if you agree or disagree, leave a comment. Even if I'm wrong on some parts, because like I said, I have not stayed in NCT since the beginning, but I have been here for a while. So I'm just describing what I picked up on and what I noticed. But y'all can correct me in the comment section. I want to hear what y'all have to say. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm going to keep bringing y'all the news, the opinions, all of that. And that's what's new with Miss Neil.